welcome back to Hoops and Harmony. This is Silvia. Um I don't know. I'm just chilling today. I also fucked up my white shoes. So if you guys saw 2 episodes ago, my shoes were very white. Now they are not.
Um, yes.
And this
It's
is
okay. And this is Ebony. And this is Ebony. And
shout out Tupac.
shout out Tupac. Yes. That's literally what I was gonna go. Oh my
We
God.
vibrating, Amila.
Shout out this sweater because one is really comfortable, two it's warm, and three I got it at the exhibit. Very good experience.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Um
10 out of 10
and
for sure.
this episode we talked a little bit about just springtime is here. We talked about, why some of us have seasonal depression. Some of our tattoos we have ideas for.
Mhm.
Some affirmation. We did the affirmation segment. Let us know how you like that. Just talking about expectations. And we had to write this down because there's a lot of stuff in this episode,
We talk a
okay?
lot.
Yeah, we talk a lot. We talked a little bit about my ex. Fuck that guy. I'm just kidding. He's cool.
I really didn't think you were gonna say that, but
Yeah, nah, he's cool. He's cool. Not really. But sending him love and light.
I still pray for you.
I still pray for you.
Shout out
homie.
today.
I still pray for you. And just learning to live in the present and not the past. Handling DCFS and how that has been for us, and giving our perspective.
Experiences and perspective.
We
yeah.
brought in a new segment. Listen for that, and let us know how you like that perspective.
69 this.
Yeah, 69 this. Let us know how you like that. And just self-care. Take care of yourselves, please. Make sure that you guys are doing something good for yourself that nourishes you. And yeah, enjoy the episode. We had a lot of fun. We went over the limit, but it was cool.
Did you say expectations? We talked about expectations?
We talked about expectations
yeah.
as well.
That was a big,
That was a big
conversation. That was
theme of
like,
this.
Yeah.
This
I was like, wait, did she say? I was like,
yeah, we talked a little bit about our expectations and yeah, but enjoy this episode. We hope you enjoy it.
Yes. So what's up, fool? How you been?
Well, I've been really good. I am just figuring out work stuff. I don't know. It's just been good. A good spring is here. I'm feeling
Yes. I mean, you know what? Spring is here, but we're playing this tug of war with like
global warming.
yeah, the clouds coming in, and then like spring's like, hello, actually I'm still here. And I'm like, okay.
The other day when it was kind of like cloudy, pues ayer, when it was kind of cloudy and it rained, like someone was like, oh, like the rain fucking like was just spitting at me, like it wasn't real rain, it was just like pew, pew, little dots of shit.
That's what she said.
Annoying. That was that. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
But keep going.
That's what she said. Anyways, so yeah, so just springtime is here, so I'm feeling very like open. I'm ready. I feel like just going out. Dodger games are starting, so I'm super excited about the Dodger games. And like, so it just feels like that time in LA where people just fucking
start blooming,
flourish. Like we're just moving. We're doing, we're grooving, we're moving. We're just want to go out, want to have barbecues.
Be outside.
Literally, like I think that's just what LA feels like to me right now.
Literally.
Como que like everybody's just like getting out of their like seasonal depression era age and just kind of like,
talking about seasonal depression, I've never been diagnosed with it, but I always say like, I probably do, not to downplay anybody who like has been diagnosed with it.
Oh, very true.
But like, sometimes I feel like I'm like, yo, it's because it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for me to really like in these clouds get up in the morning. And honestly, like I think you've really helped me to be like, use this time to really be like grateful for it. And I think one of the things I always take away from it is like, in order to like, and I know it's probably gonna sound a little clingy, but it's like in order to
clingy,
yeah, is like, or clingy, is that the word?
Cringy,
maybe cringy.
I'm like, I don't think you're saying the right word.
Maybe Clingy? No, I
Clingy
don't.
is when
Or
you're
there's
like
another word.
asimada or
No, no,
someone
no.
just
There's
like
another
on
word
top.
that's not. It's not clicking to me, but it's
Like
another word.
cringy.
No, it's not cringy. It's another one.
Okay.
But anyways, it's like this idea of like in order to see the light, you have to go through the dark, right? So it does stick with me, and I'm like, okay, like so sometimes in days like that, I'm just like, okay, Ebony, like this has to be like this. Like these days have to be like this because you know damn well when the sun comes out, you're gonna be like, all right, the sun's out, here I go, and da 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 da. And then this is what I'm like. I feel like I'm just like, all right, I'm going.
It's
I'm
always
going.
in perfect timing, amiga.
Literally,
And I think it's
literally.
those ebbs and flows of life that we have to be okay with. Because sometimes we're so afraid of like the darker days. We're afraid of those sad days. We're afraid of those days that like we really just want to sit and cry or when we're having a hard day. Like we're so afraid of those days that like we don't appreciate why they're there.
And that's what I'm learning to do. I'm learning to
Mm.
appreciate them. Like I'm learning to be grateful for them and really just sit and be like, okay, I'm even just grateful to be alive. Even if the day is gloomy, like, but I'm
Mm.
here. I'm here. I'm alive. Like, what can I do with this day? Because I'm still above ground. Like I'm still above ground. And some people don't have that opportunity. So let me not like again, like we talked about in the last episode, let me not stay here for too long. Let me
Yeah.
not stay here for too long and see what I can do with that
To
again
improve.
to improve and use that energy to build mountains.
That is
You
so
know?
beautiful. I That's so beautiful because today I was thinking about like what are things that I do in order to uplift my mood, in order to improve
Mhm.
myself. And in my yoga practice, she said, what is something you love about yourself? And
Mm.
I was having a hard time finding it, and I was like, what do I love about myself?
Mm.
Like Matt, and then I said, I love that I love improving myself.
Mm.
I love that every day, no matter what, I'm working to improve myself. I think that's one of the things that I love about myself. That no matter how hard it gets, no matter how hard it was, no how matter how hard it will be, I choose to like, okay, what how can I do this better? How can I
Mm.
fix?
Mhm.
How can I be a better friend? How can I be a better daughter? How can I be a better sister? How can I be a better friend? I mean, just a better in general like service provider and advocate for the youth that I work with. How can I be better? And that's
Mhm.
all I can do. And I think that to me has been so nourishing for me, and I've allowed myself to receive like, no, Sylvia, because you have pure intentions. And no matter what, no matter when I fuck up, I know that because you know my intentions, you also know where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from a place of ill
And even
will.
if they don't know, like
I know.
you know in yourself, like
And I don't have to
my
keep
it's
saying
not.
sorry for it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I want to say sorry. Sorry I was a bitch.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't say hi. Sorry I didn't say bye. Whatever. Like, but I don't have to explain that to you
Yeah, we
anymore.
don't. Like, and I
Cause I
think,
know.
yeah, explanations aren't always necessary and they're not always needed. At times, yes, but they don't, they're not always, needed. And I just think like that my thoughts just blurted out. They blurred out my head. But anyways, if I think about it, I'll come back to it.
It's okay.
But I think to touch on the next thing is like affirmations
Yeah, so we
and
did last week. We did a
yes.
segment. We started a segment with like hoops and harmony affirmations. I don't know what we're calling it yet. Like I think
Yeah.
we don't have a name for it, but it's definitely
It'll
something.
come.
It'll come.
It'll come.
And something that's what she said. Good one, good one. Very good. So I think that for me, and you, affirmations have been so good to really hone in on like setting the tone for our day. When I say thank you, when I really mean it, and like give you that praise, I think you need it, and I think I need it. And I think it's also maybe because we're Leos that we need the little like
Yeah.
boost of like, you a bad bitch, like you doing
Hmm.
great, keep fucking going, do whatever you want.
And then and when I think when we say like, a bad bitch or whatever, it's like in the most humblest way, right? And it's like,
I don't know about you, but I'm just kidding. I'm
no,
just kidding. I'm
I
just kidding.
mean
I'm
like,
just
yeah, of
kidding.
course, like I know that, but that's not to say like I'm better than you, like,
Oh
or none of
no,
that,
no, no, no,
at the end
no.
of the day, like, that's how if
It's
that's
for
how we
me.
it's for me.
It's
Yeah.
how I fill up my cup. It's how my cup stays
Exactly,
full.
because I think there's a negative connotation or like this negative idea with like bad bitch, and it's like no, that's not what we mean. Like it's like first of all, like we mean it because it's like it's uplifting, and
How
it's
do
a
you
very
how do you
uplifting
feel? How
term.
do you feel being called a baddie?
A baddie. You know what? It makes me feel like very I don't know, very 1920 like.
Hey Penelope, you a baddie.
Like that's when I hear baddie, like I don't know, for whatever reason I feel like baddie and bad bitch, like they're kind of different, like there's this different tone to it. I don't know what it is about
Like
it.
baddie is more like just like a fake person. I think it's fake. To me,
Yeah.
it's fake. Like to be a baddie because like baddie Instagram models and shit. Like
Yeah.
I ain't no fucking
So I
baddie
kind of
Instagram model.
identify, like the way I see it is like bad bitch is like, and obviously I think
A
this is
real ass bitch.
yeah, but like chingona. Like that's how I
Mm.
kind of like, those two terms come together for me.
Chingona.
Yeah, it's like no, a chingona is a bad bitch, maybe not a baddie. That's how I feel about it.
See.
Yeah,
I love that. In our caps and gowns, we said chingona on it, remember?
for sure, and that was very intentional.
And it's so funny
Very.
because we I think we were one of the only ones that had that. Well, I think you and I were the only ones that had that,
Mhm.
and we had people taking pictures of our cap and gown, our cap because
Yeah,
it said it's chingona, and it
for
was.
sure.
And you had a sunflower, and I had a nopal.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a
so
nopal
cute,
tattooed on me or a
dude.
sunflower. 1996.
Whatever you want to do, fool. If you want to get matching tattoos and you want me to do it, I'll do it. Whatever
Really?
you want.
Well, we
I'll
were
do
gonna
it.
get matching
We
tattoos a
were.
day, and then the
We
advent.
were, but it didn't happen,
It
and
was
that's
too
okay.
expensive.
And that's okay.
You
Like
know, I
it
was
just
thinking
didn't
on the drive over here,
happen.
I was thinking, I'm like, it's so funny because Ebony was really pushing me to do it. She's like, just fucking do it, fool. Like, just get it, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, Ebony doesn't do that unless she really wants me to do something. That's how
And that's a very permanent thing to do. Like,
yeah.
it's a very permanent. I was like, yeah. Let's
Just
do
do
it. Let's do
whatever.
it.
Like, and so but for sure on my leg somewhere. It's for sure on my leg.
Yeah, for sure. You want it on that one?
Yeah, this one
That one?
specifically.
Specifically. Yeah, I want mine on this one.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know what it is about it, but
Hey, that's so funny, huh? Cause like my dominant side is always this side,
and maybe that's why.
and you're
My
because you're a
dominant side, 'cause
lefty.
I'm a lefty. Literally.
And I work my right.
Yes. So,
The
but
balance.
anyways,
The balance.
But back to affirmations, and I'm gonna bring out my phone because you know what? We picked an affirmation off of this app that I downloaded.
Mhm.
That it's a very good
It's
app.
a good app for
Very
you.
good app. I love it because in just very random moments, it'll give me like specific times, it'll give me an affirmation, and it really like sets the tone if I'm feeling a certain way, or it just reminds me. It really gives me a lot of reminders to like, Ebony, like actually this. Like, don't overwhelm yourself. Actually be present, or think about this, so like that you don't feel like there's too much going on, or this chaos or whatever.
Right.
So anyways, back to my affirmation that we pulled. The affirmation is, my future is dependent on me, not my past. Very good, huh? And to say, sometimes these affirmations are in, again, perfect timing, because
Nice.
sometimes I'm looking at these and I'm like, how did you know? Like, all right, cool. So that's the affirmation. What do you think?
I take from that affirmation like the ability to stay in the present moment.
Mm.
Who are you today? What is happening right now? Where is everybody right now? Porque I think that something is that sometimes we hold on to a certain moment. Y eso fue todo, and that's it, and that's it, and that's it. And then you don't expand, and you stay in that comfort zone of feeling like this place bad, this place no good, this place not safe. And you stay there, and you stay there, and another opportunity, and the opportunities keep coming, and you keep saying no, you know, and you have it because of that expectation that we had. We had that expectation of like, pues, like, okay, just like in general, like people that like certain things, like with the word baddie. For me, I have a negative connotation because I have a negative experience with the word baddie. So ahí estoy, and I don't want to grow. Y
Yeah,
no
yeah,
quiero
yeah.
crecer, y no quiero. Y nomás estoy ahí.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, what am I, like, how do I, like, maybe that's just like a very small thing, but there's other places where I put my expectation. And then when I'm in the present moment, I take from that experience. And then it's what I was saying last episode, don't assume, don't make assumptions. Because when you make assumptions, lo que pasa is that you put what happened last time, and you keep making that assumption. She probably thinks I'm stupid. She da da da, like da da da. Okay, so today I was at the park
Fucking
doing,
blue suit.
literally today I was at the park. Literally today I was at the park doing yoga, and there was these like guys like just kind of there, and I was like, maybe they're just watching me and like saying da 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 and like da da da, pero who
Who
knows?
knows? Yeah.
Because what if they're like, they don't even, not even minding their me,
Yeah, yeah.
don't even know I'm there,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not in the present moment. I'm in the expectation, or like in the assumption of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this false expectation that people are always judging me. I
Mm-hmm.
expect people to judge me.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I'm working on, that I'm always expecting someone to judge me,
Mm-hmm.
because I judge myself. So
Mm-hmm.
when I stop judging myself, I can make sure that I don't make the assumption that everybody's just judging me.
That's good. That's a very good um that's just a very good idea.
Take away from it, huh?
Yeah, 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 for sure. I think for me it's the way I think about it is like this idea of change. Like you don't have to hold on to like that past or that past person or that past situation or things like that. Like you're able to grow. Like you don't have to expect because you were that way as a person or like or people were that way as a person
Yeah.
for it to be like that or like to stay like that. And it's like no, actually you can grow. Again, you can grow and you can change, and don't expect things to always be like that. Like expect them to always be like that,
Mm,
or expect yourself or expect other people to always be like that.
to be that way.
Yeah, it's like this idea of like there's change, and you can allow
It's a
yourself
cycle.
to like stay in that past, and don't
Mm.
expect yourself to stay in that past. Like it could keep moving, and there's change, and it's okay, and that can
And
happen,
accepting the
and
change.
accepting the change.
Because sometimes we see the
Yes.
change and we're like, like we're like, oh, you changed so much. Or you,
Yeah.
like, you see other people and you're like, damn, you've
Or they
really
expect you to be the
changed.
same, and it's like, oh, or like
Oh,
this idea of like, oh well, no,
okay.
that's you.
I'm gonna share something. So, I was talking, well, I was dating this person. And we dated for a really long time. We dated for maybe from when I was like, I would say 20 to maybe 22.
Mm-hmm.
Um and then we took a very long break. And then recently, like, not recent, but I stopped talking to this person maybe like a couple of months ago. But prior to these months, like, so imagine he stopped talking to me when I was 22. Then he
Mm-hmm.
stopped talking to me for 2 years, and then we started talking again when I was 24. So he never like felt like I changed, or he saw me changing, and he would always like expect me to be this little 22-year-old. And I was
Mm.
like, I'm not like
You're
that.
not there
Like,
anymore.
oh, you're crazy and you're da 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 and you're like, and I'm like, but I'm not. I'm really finding peace. I really don't, I don't I don't do what you're doing.
Mm.
I'm not on the same shit you're on.
We're not vibrating
We're
like that.
not. And then for him to keep, it was very frustrating for me to keep having to defend who I was.
Mm.
Because I'm not Sylvia from 2 years ago. I'm this Sylvia. Yes, you are definitely that person from 2 years ago, but we're here today.
Right.
Y él no sabía, like, no, 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 you're living in the past. I'm here in the present. So I would have
Mm-hmm.
to bring him back. And I would
Mm-hmm.
have to bring, and I just think I got tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, me cansé. Like, I was just like, dude, like, I don't want to. And then my spirit was like, stop letting people sow into your space where they disturb all of the things that you've done,
Mm-hmm.
and assume that
All
you're
the work you've done.
not that person, and
Mm-hmm.
unvalidate that you're not that person. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think I kept feeling disrespected y dije, ya no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Aquí ya. Like, because you're not in the present. You're like
Mhm.
living in the past. And when you're living in the past, it's that depression. It's
Mm.
that depression because you expect it to be kind of like the weather.
Mhm.
Because you expect the weather to always be sunny and to be sunny, and then on the foggy days you're living in the past when you wished it was sunny,
Sunny. Mhm.
and you're not in the present really absorbing what the present moment does for you.
Mhm. That's so good. But yeah, I think expectations, like, just to talk about that a little bit, is like expectations is I think we expect people, and also people expect a lot from us. So again, this idea of like pouring into each other's cups, and it's like expectations, like,
Maybe have expectations but communicate about them.
yeah, of course, of course. But I think expectations also put in like a lot of pressure. And it's like, that's a lot of pressure. And a lot of times too, like, I think we have expectations for, like, family, we have expectations for friends, we have
what
expectations for
a
a lot of
what a,
people.
what a person in your family should be. This is
Yes.
what my cousin should be.
Yes. Or
Me and
this
my
is what my mom, or this is what my dad, or this is what my brother, or this is my sister. Like, this is what it should look like. Why? Because
Mm.
society put that in there. Like, to be like, this is what your family should look like, and this is what a happy home should look like.
Rather than
You
just
know?
accepting. And it's so funny that you say that because I've been thinking about how much I've changed from when I first moved in back with my mom. Like how much I expected this to be this and this to be this and this to be this, and now 2 years later I'm like, you know what, I'm like in the present now, and I'm like, you know what, yeah, this is my family. I'm so thankful to have this family because I am the way that I am because of this family.
Mm-hmm.
I am hardworking, and I am never give up, and I am make it how you make it. Like you gotta survive and thrive and be curious about the world and go out and get it and break these cycles. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't have gotten that lesson anywhere else but in my family.
Right, right. And I think those expectations, like, again, we get those expectations from the outside. And so we try
Mm.
to put them inside our home,
And the
and
outside
it's
is they're living in a past from their perspective.
from their perspective. It's just that, like, they're living in their perspective. And again, everybody's perspective is different. Everybody's home is different. It looks different for everybody. So it's like, how am I gonna pull something from what their life looks like and put it into my home? Like, that doesn't go. Like,
Right.
that my home's gonna look different,
Right.
and that's okay.
Right.
Like, my home is gonna look like this is it, and that's what shaped me. So I'm
Right.
not gonna hold these expectations, or I no longer, like, I really try my best. Has to, yes, of course, certain expectations, but don't put so much pressure on them, because at the end of the day, like, I'm putting expectation on them because that's how I want them to be. And it's like, I can't do that because they're different. Everybody's different. Or, like, people are different, and everybody's gonna learn differently. And I can't expect someone to do things a certain way, or like be a certain way because I want to. It has to be because
Mm.
they want to. Like, that's how you're gonna. And if it's sometimes, if people do things, or they they don't see things on the same level as me at that time, maybe they'll see it afterwards, but I can't hold that expectation on them
You
because
gotta
it's
let it
too much.
go.
It's yeah, it's too much, not only on them, but then it's too much on me, because now I'm trying to, like,
Mm.
I'm putting in a lot of energy into that. And it's like,
When you could have been doing
when I
something for yourself.
exactly. And it's like, okay, I'm no longer gonna do those things because everybody's gonna do those things at their own time and
Right.
whenever it feels right for
For
them.
them.
For them. So I think expectations, I'm learning. Um and not to, like, say, like, I'm putting in expectations to, like, be controlling or things like that. I think a lot of my expectations for people are just like, they come from a very genuine place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think a lot of my expectations come from, like, just wanting for people to do better or be better, or things like that. But again, I can't hold I can't hold that on them, because it's not, if it's not right for them right now, it's not right for them right now. Again,
Yeah.
that's that.
And you
And
just
being
got
okay with that.
literally like being just don't take it personally if they didn't if
Don't take
they
it personal.
don't take it personal if they didn't like do what you wanted them to do and react how they you wanted them to do
Mhm.
and like be who they want. Don't take it personal,
No,
you know?
you
And
can't.
I think that's a really good transition into our new segment. um I think we're calling it 69 this, but we're working on it. I think 69 this is good. It talks about how we can make perspective
Perspective.
out
We still
of,
need our little drill team move.
yeah, perspective out of like what like wait, our perspective on like certain things that happen in the world that we're seeing,
Mm-hmm.
and coming out from that. So I don't have my phone, but I sent it to you, no? Well,
What?
basically
Oh, the story?
I had seen a story. I don't remember the girl's name, and I don't want to invalidate what's happening, but basically on Instagram, she like had posted like her baby daddy might have like molested her daughter. I don't know, it's allegedly. Like, this is kind of a heavier topic también. And so basically, like, it was like an alleged, and I know you kind of saw, but you didn't see everything.
Yeah.
um and so I might be butchering a lot, and I might be sound ignorant, but really what I want to talk about specifically is how DCFS handled
Mm.
the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So along the lines of something that the daughter was molested by the dad, who they were doing shared custody
Mm-hmm.
with, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so the point was that that mom was reaching out to help from DCFS. There was a case open because when there's a rape kit, there's usually like a
Evidence.
evidence, and
Yeah.
like, social workers are gonna be like flagged.
Yeah, yeah,
So, because is the child in danger? So I was reading the story, and she was basically saying how DCFS came out and did an interview. Because when usually, like, they'll get a call and then someone will go and do an interview. I think they have about 7 days to show up, depending on how severe the case is.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
The social worker goes to the house, does an interview, and the mom is not hearing back. The mom is not hearing back, and she's just like, what is happening?" And then so she's calling the social worker and be like, "Hey, I think my daughter does need therapy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
her behavior has been very different ever since this situation." Y luego the girl was like, well, the social worker was supposed to. She's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna send you XYZ," and like, and then nunca le mandó nada, right? And then the mom was like, "What the fuck?" So she talked to the supervisor, and was the supervisor said something along the lines of like, "Well, we have like 6,000 cases,
Mm.
and you are not a priority."
Mm.
Why? Because she's not technically in danger, immediate danger, to where the social worker has to go out and do the XYZs, and it's like a immediate thing. And
Lacking the prevention.
yeah, and I think that's what I wanted to talk about, more of the angle in terms of like the social worker, because as people that are,
And the community members.
yeah, as uh,
Social service providers.
I don't know if I don't know, I have
You
like,
know?
I'm just like in and out with social work right now, like the
Mm-hmm.
word, like, am I a social worker?
Well, I don't say social worker because I don't like this. That's why I say
I don't.
social service provider.
Yeah, like something like like, I think I'm a advocate. I'm community like support and advocate, community advocate, like something like that. I feel like that's technically what my role is.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we've worked with social workers, when we were in the group homes, right? Now that when we have to make DCFS calls because we're mandated reporters.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're seeing how these social workers are working. And also, we have a caseload.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a sick ass, like, their caseload. I don't know what their caseload cap is, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure.
For social workers?
Yeah.
Oh,
What would
I
you,
don't know.
what do you
I don't
think?
know, but
But
it's a lot.
imagine, I have
Because
on.
social workers, it's like the CPS workers, and then it's the actual social
Mm-hmm.
workers because it's two different. Because it's like the ones the emergency response have one caseload because they're
Yeah.
already getting calls
Calls.
back to back.
And they're the ones that are going out to do the 7-day
Yeah,
emergency ones
exactly, exactly. And then it's your actual social workers that do the day to day or
when the case
whatever.
is open.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's like I really don't know
But
who.
their caseload is crazy, right?
It's crazy.
You have, I think,
It's crazy.
25 on your caseload, or
About
20?
20, 20 about 20.
Okay, you have 20 and I have 10.
Yeah.
And for both of us, it's still very heavy.
Yeah, because your 10 is it's
Intense.
reentry. Yeah, it's really intense. So my 20 is like it's an addition to it. It's prevention, but again, it's these youth that we're trying to prevent to go into or be a
part
of the
of the
system like that, in that space. And it's like, okay, so but just to touch on social workers, it's hard. So it's like we can't not validate their work or not validate the amount of work they have. And it's like, we often feel like social workers, or we hear social workers, and it's like, ugh,
scary.
ugh,
It's scary.
back away. you
Nope.
know
Harm.
and in some communities, it's so crazy, because I've heard this a lot. And it's in some communities, like, it's literally like a danger zone for a social worker to just drive or just pull up to a specific community.
Well, when I was working ABA, like I didn't want to wear my badge. They would
Yeah, I
tell me,
don't.
"Come in with
Yeah,
your badge, be
no, no,
all
no.
professional," and I was like, "Nope,
Mm-mm.
I'm not."
I just don't like
I
that.
was also in South Central, so
Yeah.
I was going into like different projects and like things like that. So imagine me like showing up with the
Nah.
full ass
You're getting
fucking
names
thing.
thrown at you. You're getting, like,
Name,
you're taking kids, like, this and that, and all these things.
yeah,
And it's like, it's an ugly feeling, especially those who are just coming in and trying, because their spark, a lot of what happens is, like, for
the
social
social
workers, they
workers,
lose their spark as they're doing the work.
yeah,
So imagine someone who's like,
burnt out.
yeah, who's burnt out, right? And imagine someone who's just coming in, who has that spark and has that drive and has all those things, and they're put into this place of, like, going into this community, and in their thoughts are like, I'm here to do my best, and to try and help this
These
kid and this
kids,
family.
because there are ugly stuff that has
Yes,
happened,
yes, yes, yes,
like
and
the
then
boy in Lancaster who had passed away
yes,
because of some shit,
yeah. And so it's like, you go in there, they go into and then it's like, oh damn, they could get this slap in the face, because it's like they're getting names thrown at them, and this and that. And it's like, well, damn,
Suddenly they're enemies.
they're
Suddenly they're
enemies.
ops. And
Yes,
suddenly I'm not from the community. Suddenly I'm not this
yes,
person. Y
yes,
pues, yeah, that's a little bit tough.
yeah.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, and I think it's hard. It's hard to be a social
For
to be
sure.
a social worker because you have a big ass caseload.
Yes,
You have so many, but I don't know if it's the social works. I don't know who's above social workers. I don't know
it's a system.
the system, but I don't know who's running this fucking system because it's not working. It's
It's
not
not.
working because people are overloaded.
But it's so much bigger, for, like, it's just so much bigger that it's like, it's so hard to, like, even, I don't know, because it's like, it's social work, but at the same time, it's like above that. It's like, where are we putting our money? Where are we doing this? How are we doing this? What services are we providing aside from social work to do the prevention part? And it's like,
Mhm.
so it's sometimes it's
And even
above that.
and even the prevention, but how are social workers taking care of themselves
Themselves.
to make sure they
Yes.
show up full?
Yes.
And we have the ability and the flexibility to have those days where we're like, you know what? Let me rest.
Yes. And
Because
social workers, they're like
on it.
this, on
It's a
it.
lifestyle. Social work
Yes.
is a lifestyle, and some therapists, I've seen it. It's a fucking lifestyle.
Yes.
They're taking calls 7 days a week, nonstop, 15-hour
Boundaries
shifts.
are hard.
Boundaries are so hard. So imagine all of that tied in, and then they have a caseload of maybe 50 plus. I would say
Mhm.
comfortably
Probably.
50
Yeah.
plus of like back to back calls. They're not building any rapport. They're
Mm-mm.
just numbers. Oh, your
Mm-mm.
daughter was touched.
Mm.
Sorry, I just got a kid whose mom slashed
So
his
it's like,
fucking
how
throat.
do you do that?
How do
Which
you know who's
one?
more important?
Exactly.
Because the lady from the story that I was telling you about, she was supposed to send the mom resources and she never did. So are resources more important, or me going out because a kid is calling me because mom just fucking hit the shit out of him? What the fuck is more important?
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
hard and nobody's getting
This tug of
support.
war.
Nobody's getting support and nobody's reflecting with these therapists and letting them know that this shit's hard.
Yeah.
This shit's fucking I'm thankful to have a partner and to have had you when shit was really hard.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how I would have dealt with a lot of the shit and not laugh through it all.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, social work is hard. And again, it's not to not, like, not go back and forth and not validate the
Who's
community,
right?
who's right and who's
Because I
wrong.
don't. I think the community for sure they're just being done wrong by the upper systems that are like
Yes.
not putting them as priority because they think they're numbers.
Yes. And we don't have it's hard because we don't have enough. It's so hard. We have a lot of cases that get open, and we don't have enough social workers. We don't have enough social workers. But again, like, that's not, a community. It's You do have bad social workers. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen it.
Oh
You
yeah,
do have bad social workers, but you also have good social workers.
they're
So
trying their
sometimes,
best.
yeah, so sometimes I do, try and, I think about those things, and I think about the good social workers that do help, that do support, the kids that do, help them in any ways that they can, because I have seen it, and we often have that negative connotation for social
It's the
workers.
expectation. It's the
Again, yeah, yes,
expectation
yes,
that
yes.
when I was younger and I had a social worker show up to my house, I was fucking scared because no social worker's showing up here.
Yeah.
Like, no, no, no.
Because again, social worker pulls up, I'm leaving my house. They're taking my
They're
kids.
taking my it's a fear base, and that's what
Yes.
you know, and that's what you know. So then you have a negative connotation, and you go in and talk to a social worker, and you expect her to be this person, or expect
Mm-hmm.
him to be this person, and they're actually really good. So it's just, honestly, I think the system, there's something failing, and I don't know, and I think that's why I'm working. I think that's why USC is gonna. I want it to give me that in. That's my intention, to give me that in of like, what the fuck is happening with these policies?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't we thinking about building up? Right? You guys are. It's power. It's ego. It's who's better. Nobody's communicating. I
Yeah.
have a client who's coming out of camp, and social worker, the legal guardian. The legal guardian is the social worker, doesn't know what time is his court. What
But how can she?
But why wouldn't nobody talk to her? She's the legal
Yeah.
guardian.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying, on like a higher, like, how can she if she has a whole bunch of other kids? So it's like, it's hard. That's what I'm saying.
Because
It's
she has
hard.
to deal with all these XYZs.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's
To
like,
put in that effort, it's really hard,
it's a
and
lot.
it's hard. And because I
It's
know her
because
intentions are
even
good.
parenting's hard, and that's one or two people doing it for one child, or even multiple children, and they
Yeah.
do it, and it takes, one person to do it. And imagine a person dealing with 50,
Mhm.
50 and multiple kids in that one
And then the
case.
kids, on top of that, the kids are a different situation because they're dealing with their own trauma.
Yes,
They're like, fuck the
yes,
social worker, da da da, and da da da, and da da da, and da da da. And
yes,
that sucks because the kids are also in their own trauma
yes.
of being removed from their homes.
Home. That's a whole ass trauma in itself. That's a
So
whole ass
so
trauma in
why would they
itself.
want to work with you?
Yeah.
And so I think it's so many layers to it, and I think that we can go so much deeper into it because we've been
Yes, for
doing this work
sure.
for so long. I think
For
how long have we been doing this work for? Maybe
like 5, 6 years
no,
already.
we're
No,
19. I think we started
19,
working
20. Yeah, about 5 years. Because we started at group homes, and I think that's when
like
we really
six,
got like
five,
social work.
six, five,
5, 6
6.
years around there. Yeah. So I think I just think, like, if social workers would really, like, and I think this is what I've gotten from a lot of family and a lot of people, is the energy of being very genuine, and very being very patient, and like learning to, like, just not take things personal.
But they're
Not
also
take things
systematic.
personal.
Like the
Of
social
course.
workers, they
Of
have the
course.
system of like they're robots
Of
suddenly.
course.
Y ya
Yes,
no,
yes, yes.
they're not hearing you. They're only hearing what they need. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
yeah, going back to that being genuine, that being okay.
Reflecting, and being and understanding, like, okay, wait, where am I at? What am I doing? Like, how can I do this better, where I don't make this family feel uncomfortable, or feel like I'm the enemy,
How do
or
I
feel,
mhm,
all of those things. And it's like,
my own stuff? How do I work on my own stuff?
yes,
Fill up my own cup so I can make sure you're good. And I
exactly.
think that's the part that I think that a lot of mental health people, or just in general, like people that work with other people in like these settings, we don't always get it.
Mm-mm. Yeah, not always, but
But
it's a lot of work.
self-care, but
Very important.
not the always doing the nails and the getting ready and stuff. No, that's a part of it, but then there's a deeper work that we need to do.
The reflection.
That's self-care.
That is self-care.
Yeah.
It's an addition, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think social work is a very, very, very difficult work. So I do praise those that are doing it, and
Doing it
like,
right.
and doing it right. Yes, of course, because
And that's just our
I've thought
perspective.
about
That's
it.
just our
That
perspective
is our
because
perspective.
it's where we're from, like where we've
Right.
known to see social
Right.
work. Maybe someone has seen a really fucked up, and I can't say no to your experience.
No,
I'm gonna
we
validate it,
can't invalidate it.
just like the girl from the story. Like, and she's saying and I can't invalidate that
Mm-mm.
the social worker is not showing up for her
Mm-mm.
because the social worker is probably showing up for her and like or doing
I
her.
can see why.
I can
I
see
can see why.
I can see why. I can see both sides of like,
Mm-hmm.
man, my daughter is really going through something. And
Yeah,
the social worker, the only person that I'm saying help me, is not
is
helping
not
me.
helping me. Exactly.
And so I see both.
Exactly.
I think we see both perspectives, and I think that's why I wanted to say that. Like, we wanted to bring up that in this perspective little perspective this. No, 69 this.
Oh, 69 this.
69 this. That was a good little segment that we wanted
For
to bring
sure.
in. But I think
we'll end it there.
Amiga.
Very good conversation. Very deep.
That's what she said.
Mm.
That's what she said. Okay. Well,
thank you, friend.
Thank you. Follow us on H&H Podcast. Follow our intern. We'll leave her Instagram somewhere down before because she's TikTok famous.
Mm-hmm.
Shout
out Productive Culture. Shout out Jay.
And Jordan.
Did you say? And Jordan, for sure. Did you say to follow? Yeah, you did say that.
Follow us. Yes, comment down below how you guys are enjoying the segments, so we know
your thoughts, your ideas.
Yeah, so we know whether to like continue to do these or like not. Because I thought this was us, but if you say like to stop doing them, I think we're just gonna do them.
I was about to say like, okay, like
you told me that through the vibration.
Literally, I was like, but this is us. These are literally the conversations we have almost on a day-to-day that are they're very important to us. Like, they're very important to us. I think that has a lot, again, it has a lot to do why we're even here. Like, why we're sitting down on these chairs talking about it, because they're deep conversations that we want the world to see and the world to hear. Well, see too, I guess. And just like really think about those things, because they impact our communities, they impact our people, they impact like everything. So, for sure. Yes, deep breath. Love that.
Yeah, I'm really taking that in. But thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Peace out.
Bye.